You got your... 6 exactly?
I think so. Am I blind?
Yeah, I got 1 minute after, it's 6 o'clock. Okay.
Order.
Let's do the pledge allegiance. Uncover. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moment of silence. Amen. All right. Amen. Roll call of officers. Frankie Ramus. Bill McDevitt. Roland Chartier, excuse. Norm Jagir, present. Jay Gaffney. Kyle Van.
Present.
Bill Flanagan. Jim Hall's excuse. And John McDonald.
Present.
Okay. Who's got the minutes, Barry? You gonna read off the previous minutes?
No, I don't have the previous minutes.
Okay, we'll have to bypass, Roland would have that, and he's not here.
Right.
Got a speaker, Mr. Stephen Hines?
Shall I use the podium or come up?
Yeah, just use the
Podium.
podium, it's fine.
Hi, good evening, gentlemen. My name is Steve Hines. I'm a peer specialist at Bedford VA. By way of introduction, the peers are veterans who are in recovery of one form or another, whether it's PTSD, some other mental illness such as depression or substance abuse or some combination. And we use our experience with overcoming those difficulties to help other veterans to overcome those difficulties. I've been working in this role at Bedford VA for a few years now. I've done some individual counseling in the mental health clinic there. The job that I do now happens to be with a group called CRCT, the Community Recovery Connections Team. And what we do is we try to connect veterans to resources in the community. We will do this by any way that we can. We've had a lot of success doing this on an individual basis, you know, meeting with veterans, finding out, like, you know, what are the barriers that you're facing to integrating into the community? People that we meet who are in need of reintegration services could be people who are just returning from a deployment, people who have been back from a deployment for a little while, but because of their PTSD, they haven't had an easy go of it and getting back into their community. Could be people who are have never been deployed into combat, or 50-year-old veterans who have been suffering with a substance abuse disorder and are sober and back on their feet now for the first time in 10 or 15 years, but are having difficulty getting their driver's license back, or need to talk to somebody about, you know, how do I go about looking for a good job? How do I go about approaching a potential landlord and asking them for a place to live? So what CRCT is trying to do is we're trying to introduce ourselves to the already existing veteran networks in the community and other, what we refer to as community partners. Could be, you know, I just met Matt for the first time. I was expressing to him, it could be, you know, a plumber who is a vet, who is willing to, you know, be introduced to other veterans and let them know, you know, here's my business card. At some of our get-togethers, we've had mortgage originators. Some veterans have shown up at our get-togethers afraid that they were going to be homeless and learned about a potential housing opportunity. So, as I say, what we try to do is we try to facilitate the connection between a veteran in need of recovery services and a resource in the community. The way we've been going about doing this, that's been very successful for us, is by putting together these coffee socials, and I'll pass these around to everyone. This is one that we've just begun. If you could just take one and pass the rest along. The one that this poster is advertising for, thank you, is the coffee social that's just gotten started at the Senior Center in Lowell in collaboration with Eric. He and Michelle have placed the Senior Center at our disposal on Friday mornings. There's an already existing Veterans Breakfast that, thank you very much. Veterans Breakfast, which I'm sure you know happens on the, what is it, the second Friday, thank you. So I'll be attending that on the 2nd anyway and just pretend that it's my coffee social, even though it's not. But the remaining 3 Fridays of the month will be Bedford VA hosted and advertised coffee socials, free coffee, free pastries. We have been setting up a keynote speaker, the very brief presentation followed by very brief Q&A, designed more or less to get people get them in the seats so that it doesn't appear to a veteran who might be considering attending, okay, this is just a bunch of people sitting around drinking coffee, what do I want to go there for? So these are topics of interest to veterans. I would just happen to be at an outreach event over at the outpatient clinic, and people were asking, what's HUD-VASH? Many veterans don't even know what HUD-VASH is, so we're going to have someone on the 19th present about what HUD-VASH is. The other thing that I've brought along is a newsletter. On the right-hand column on the newsletter, it lists where all the coffee socials are. There's a number of them, North Shore, Lowell, Woburn, and there's also a list of some events that we've got going on. We've had a lot of success getting people involved in chili cook-offs and things like that right at the thanks Eric, at the Bedford VA. Also, I'll pass around my business card. I'm located at Bedford VA. Here's my contact information. Anything that I can do by way of answering questions and giving you guys information about what it is that we do, please contact me. What I need from you guys is a connection to the networks that you already know about in the community. And it would be my pleasure to collaborate with you in any way. So thanks a lot for giving me the time to present here. And do you guys have any questions?
Anybody?
Thank you for coming.
All right, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
All
Great
right.
resource, thank you.
Thank you very much. Next would be Matt Elkins from the Greater Lowell Veterans Council. Matt, you were here to talk about the upcoming events, I take it?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. I just wanted to let everyone know that the Greater Lowell Veterans Council is going to be having their Memorial Day event on the 28th. We're going to be starting right here in front of City Hall at Ladd Whitney at 10 o'clock. And then from there at the Ladd Whitney, and if people don't know, what we do is the members of the Veterans Council, their commanders submit a list of names of the members that they've lost over the year, and we read the names off to remember them. Then
What was that date again, the 20 what?
The 28th, sir. And that's 10 o'clock at the Ladd Whitney.
Okay.
Also, the same day, starting at 11 o'clock at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium, we'll be having our annual Memorial Day event there, and it's going to last for about an hour. We do have refreshments afterwards, but most people will go down to the Greek American veterans.
Yeah, that's right, the one by City, yeah.
And they'll usually do the parade around the block there and eat there, but everyone's more than welcome to come down. We look forward to seeing everybody, and you have it as a collaborative event, having the two councils that represent veterans in the city come together. So,
Great.
Great,
any
thank you very
questions?
much.
No, thank you for coming down, and thank you for informing the
Anybody?
public. Go ahead, Eric.
Can I just add a couple events to that I
Sure.
have?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Lowell Cemetery has an annual parade, and that'll be on May 21st at 12 p.m. That they kick off, and they ask for all the veterans to march down the hill. And if you park down the hill, they'll drive you up to the top with the little cart if you have trouble walking up to the top.
Yeah,
But you
that's
walk
at the
down.
little cemetery, correct?
Correct.
Are they gonna have a flyover?
Excuse me?
Don't they usually have a flyover?
I haven't been advised of that at this point.
Okay.
The VFW will also be holding their memorial event where on May 28th at 10 a.m. It actually happens at the same time as the Veterans Council at the Ladden Whitney Monument. So a lot of times we'll send somebody out to read the names off for the VFW while the VFW does their. We hand out
And
memorial.
that's at the post?
That's at the post. We hand out memorial certificates to all the family members of all the veterans, members that have passed since last Memorial Day. On May 28th, the Greek American Legion, the date that I was given is 1 p.m. And they march, they have a parade, they go to several different monuments, and then they have a coalition at their post at the Greek American Legion. That food is absolutely amazing. You have to go if
Oh,
you've
yeah,
never
you
been
have to.
before. It's a good take.
Yes, it is.
It's a very good
It is-
take.
it is
You
a
gotta
good
go. Centerville on May 29th. There's the Centerville Memorial Park across the street from Top Donut. They have an annual ceremony, and that will begin at 9 a.m. And this year, I believe the theme is the military people we lost during the why can't I think of that?
Yeah, they
Iwo
actually,
Jima.
Yeah, Iwo Jima.
Hiroshima, I'm sorry.
It's Hiroshima?
Yes, that's what they were looking at. That was the people that they're recognizing. On May 26th, Pine Art School at 2 p.m. They will be putting on a ceremony for veterans. They also do a very nice job. They recognize the veterans. They sing.
Eric, could you check on that? Because I was told that's going to be May 24th.
I will check.
Yeah, because I got a call, and they invited me. Barney's daughter said it was the 24th. I may have misunderstood her, but could have sworn she said the 24th. But we'll leave
You're
it.
not supposed to have any kind of ceremonial role, are you?
No,
Oh,
no,
all right,
it's just
then
they
you
invite
can
all,
miss it then.
all veterans.
And I got a phone call today from the Shaughnessy School on May 26th. They want to, it actually, at the same time, 26th at 10 a.m., they want to do a ceremony at their school. But also the Morey School is, the VFW, there's a few of us that attend we go to talk to the children at the
Yeah,
Morey
we
School,
were
and
in-
that's at 10 a.m. the same day. So I won't be able to attend the Shaughnessy School
No,
event, but it would be nice if people, if anybody could go to that, if you split up
Yeah, 'cause
It's at 10 a.m., Shaughnessy?
it,
On the
yes.
26th.
on the 26th. And that's what I have at this point.
Great.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have anything that we should know about, other events coming up that I don't know about? You have anything, John?
No.
Jay?
What is the organization on the Centerville?
That's the,
That organization actually isn't really in existence anymore.
that's the
It's
St. Louis.
St. Louis Veterans Organization. They all just aged out of it, but there's, there aren't enough people to have officers anymore, but they still, they adopted that park years ago, and they made it, they go out there, they formed a committee, and they put on a ceremony every year. It's actually very well attended, and they do a good job.
Yeah, it's really nice. Under old, anybody have anything else?
Actually, I do.
Who did?
I do.
Kyle does.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kyle.
And the 21st, in the cemetery over at Shed Park, I guess Lowell Police is honoring fallen veterans. We're having like a ceremony on the 21st at 11:30. Shed Park, yes. Right at the entrance over there by that little house that's across by the entrance of the cemetery.
11:30, I think.
They're doing like, a ceremony with refreshments and
What time
whatnot.
what time is that? Kyle?
Well, honor God, we have to be there at 11:30.
So
And I want to
I'd
say between 11:30 and 1.
o'clock to have everybody there, I guess.
11:30, okay.
Yeah,
Shed
11
Park.
Shed Park, 11:30,
Yes.
back entrance.
Okay, anyone else? I think we covered just about everything. I don't know of anything else going on. I'm sure we'll get more calls, so. I was supposed to do one on Memorial Day to raise a flag at the summer place in Chelmsford, but I can't do that. They wanted it at 8 at the same time as we have ours, so, and they just called me at the last minute. So that's gonna be out. Old business, follow-up on letter to Viet. Well, Jim Hall isn't here to talk about that.
There is a copy of it that he sent this afternoon. So,
Okay. Nomination for the Veteran of the Month, as you want.
Hold on, you gotta,
I don't have that.
oh, well, here you go, here you go.
Okay, this is from Honorable David Shulkin, Secretary, United States Department of Veteran Affairs, Department of Veteran Affairs, 810 Vermont Avenue, Northwood, Washington, D.C. Secretary Shulkin, several months ago, it came to our attention through the news articles that there had been a recent drug use and an overdose at the Crescent House in Lowell, Mass. A letter was sent to your predecessor requesting that attention be given to this matter so that such wrong against veterans would not occur again. We also recommended that an independent investigation occur. We did not receive a response, so we are writing again to ensure that you are aware of this matter. The Lowell Veterans Council was created last year by the Lowell City Council, and we believe that it is first veteran-focused board at the municipal level in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. It is our intention to remain focused on the issues such as this matter until appropriate action has been taken and until after safeguards have been put in place to protect our veterans. Could your office provide us an update in regard to what occurred with this matter and what actions have been taken to ensure that this not occur again? Sincerely, Chairman, as authorized by vote of the Commission. Have you heard anything at all?
No, the objective is to have everybody have seen the letter, make any suggestions, or I guess we could make a motion to approve it if everybody was fine with it. But that's the letter that we discussed the last meeting.
Right. Okay, what else?
So we open up to any discussion on it.
Yeah. Any discussions we can open up on that?
No.
Okay.
I thought Jim did a nice job on it. I'm glad that he sent it this afternoon. I think it's pretty clear cut. I would like to make a motion that we approve it and send it to the, to Celine, city manager, and I think they'll have, I think we discussed having a legal look at it or whatever, but anyway, send it up the food chain, I guess would be the procedure. So I'd like to make a motion to do that. A second?
Second. All in favor?
Second motion.
Aye.
Ayes carry. Nomination for Veteran of the Month, which we just had. It was the greatest turnout the city has ever seen. That was unbelievable. I don't know if any of you were there. I know quite a few of us were there. It was unbelievable. And August is the Vice Chair, Roland Charter, who's not here tonight. He's excused.
So I guess what we would do is throw out some, if anyone had any nominations they wanted to make,
Yeah.
or suggestions, then we could roll them up to Roland to gather. If anybody has anybody they'd like to nominate at this point. But I think we also, since we have the commander of the Greater Lowell Veterans Council here too, if, you know, we extended it before, we'll extend it again. If you have any suggestions, Lowell Veteran of the Month would have to be a Lowell resident and, you know, obviously served honorably, but also had made a good impact, great impact or a contribution to the city, after the name of the recipient, Walter Bayless,
Right.
who obviously is a person that we all hold in high regard, and it was an example of someone who's 100% dedicated to veterans in his community. So if you guys have any suggestions, we'll be taking nominations. I think we could move that to next month.
Right, and he does have to be a Lowell
Or she,
resident,
yeah.
or she.
Right.
He or she has to be a resident of the city of Lowell.
Right.
Okay, anything on new business? For the veteran, oh,
So if nominations, send it to, Roland, Cardia?
yeah, we'd send it to Roland
Send
County.
it, send a,
Or you, or myself. I mean,
right, I'll send it to anybody on the commission.
Anybody on the.
And we'll feed it up to,
We'll bring it
Roland.
up and have a brief thing of where they serve, what they did and whatnot, and what they did in the community, so.
Chairman,
Yes,
Can you hit your,
firefighters and the police were the firefighters and the police were recognized in the first round. Any consideration given to the EMTs that serve the Lowell community, veterans?
that's a good point.
yeah, I mean, I think that would be something
That
that
would be
send
very-
it up to Roland for consideration. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
And the one thing we were discussing a little earlier too, is there are a lot of teachers in the city of Lowell that are veterans.
Teachers and
Yeah.
nurses?
Teachers, nurses, I mean, it can go on and on forever. I
Yep.
mean,
Well, I think if you opened it up with the public,
right,
public contribution that's given to the community.
right. I think it would be great to, yeah, we could do that. That would be, actually, that's a good, what else? Follow-up veterans. Oh, okay. Eric has a list of we're gonna do a follow on the,
You skipped discussion of the veterans ceremony, approve areas to improve or not.
yeah, for the,
Right.
yeah, discussion of veteran, the parking spaces that we discussed at last month's meeting. Eric brought in some of the signs that we could possibly use for a parking space in front of schools. Does everybody have a copy of this?
I put one on every table.
Did you skip that, though? You skipped this one.
Which one?
We can take them out of order, but we were gonna have areas to improve on the Veterans of the Month ceremony. It's the next one after
Oh,
this.
jeez, I skipped that
Yeah.
one. Well, all right, I'm sorry.
Well, we take it out of order, that's
Yeah,
okay.
I took it out. Yeah, we should go back to the discussion of Veteran of the Month ceremonies, areas to improve or not improve. Does anybody have anything in the areas that we can improve on?
We had our, as we are all aware, most of us went, we had the Veteran of the Month ceremony last night, and by all accounts and feedback that I know that I received throughout the day, it was well appreciated, and I think it was something that people didn't expect, and I thought it was good. And I know we've got some other guests here. I don't know if you're welcome to, if you wanted to make any comments about the ceremony. It's up to you. I know you were there last night. Bill Campbell.
Thank you. My name is Jim Campbell. I'd like to congratulate the council. It was an unbelievable event, incredible. The cross-section of people that you had, everyone seemed to really be thrilled. And, it was just really heartwarming to see some of the people that, you haven't seen in years that really don't go out, and they were here. And I think that's important, so congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
And
So did anybody have any areas to improve upon the ceremony? And I thought it went very well, Eric. I thought you did a phenomenal job as the conductor of everything last night, from the food to the organization of the program and pulling all the parties together. I think this commission owes you a debt of gratitude for everything that you did last night, and thank you, and great job.
Thank you, and I think we also owe a lot to to Celine she did.
Yep.
yes, she
She
did.
did quite a bit of work for
Definitely.
this as well.
Yeah. Anybody that was involved did an excellent job. I mean,
If there's any improvement, it might be to get a larger room.
I don't know if we could do that.
Yeah, it was, we
Well,
couldn't have packed another person in there. It was overflow of people outside, and then when we came into the city council chambers, combined that crowd plus the crowd with pro Collie, everyone joined together, and it was, I think Councilor Elliott coined it, it was pretty significant. It was a nice event. So I think as time goes on and people can reflect upon it, if there's any improvements, suggestions, we certainly take those for the next big one. Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Fred Healy, I would just like to make one suggestion. Instead of calling it the Walter Bayless Veterans, the veterans part is good, but could you really include his full name? Walter F. Bayless Jr. I know it's a nitpicky thing, but
Sure.
Yeah, that
I'm a
would be,
nitpicky guy.
no, absolutely. I mean, they even announced that they put a J instead of an F, and we can't
Yeah,
have
that was good. But other than that, it was fabulous.
Great.
That was a fabulous evening. It was a great community spirit. Even though Lowell's a city, it felt like it had a really hometown heroes flavor.
Right.
So thank you.
You're welcome. And just by the way, we got 2 T-shirts coming, just let you know.
I think the moment should not pass. John, I think you should be giving some credit and recognition for your contribution to the evening. You provided the refreshments, but you also
The
provided the accomplishment for the evening. You had the idea for this whole thing, and I think it was a success because of your accomplishment. And
I appreciate you
thank you very
saying
much.
so, and but I would be remiss if I didn't give credit to, Jim Hall, who made the motion to get this thing going, and also Veterans Assisting Veterans, our nonprofit organization donated, and I appreciate. But it was a team effort. Everybody on this commission did their part, and Eric did his part, and I think we all.
And it can only get better.
It will only get better. But Bill, thank you for saying so. I appreciate that.
Do you want to have Fred talk about the stone, or we just go into this?
Just go into that, yeah.
Yeah. All right, the next step would be the follow-up on the veterans parking space discussion. Eric, you have anything?
No, I just, I sent out some suggestions in April, and I think the discussion was what it should read, and I think it's just take a vote, and they'll put up whatever sign we decide.
I do suggest that at least it says you have to have a license plate, veteran plate.
Yeah, can I see that for a second?
Yeah, I was thinking of,
Did everybody see this? Yeah, we had a little informal discussion earlier, but this sign says military veteran parking, thank you for your service, but to add DMV-issued veterans plates required on that one.
so it'll be
That way-
this first one and just add the other.
Right, the verbiage of it, because, you want to make sure.
Right. Now, does anybody have any other discussion or any other place that they,
Kyle, did you see this?
I did. I see it. I'm looking at it right now.
Right.
And you're absolutely right, because how can you differentiate if you don't have the
right,
plate?
you have to
Anyone
have
can
a
say they're a
veterans
veteran
plate.
and just take that spot, so.
Yeah, you
That's
don't
how-
want to start a war on the streets here, so,
And that's how we enforce it as well.
Okay.
For us, when we enforce it, as long as you don't have a plate on it, you're getting a ticket.
right. So military veteran parking, the one on the right,
With the sign on
with the DMV issue.
Yes.
You got that, Eric? Mm-hmm. And then, thank you for your service would be, and they can play around with the lettering as far as the sizes and all that stuff, but I think the lettering needs to be big enough where people can claim that I don't want people claiming they can't see it.
So does anybody else have any opinion on to anything else other than that?
The only question I have is that there,
Could you turn your microwave?
yeah, the only question I have, and I really don't know how to deal with it because I'm not sure what percentage of veterans get the DMV plates. So there are, I hate to see them go, I'd hate to see the parking spot go unused. On the other hand, I'm a little bit, I can see the issue as far as people who are not veterans taking advantage of it.
Well, the other thought I had is, Eric, you came out with the program with the little card. I know some people, if you have a veteran's plate, you do have to pay for it. I understand that. But if you had your little thing,
Veteran ID card?
the veteran ID card, place it in the front window or wherever where it can be seen,
You just had my juices flowing. I was thinking about it, maybe even a veteran sticker to stick on your car.
Right, something like
I
that.
am a
I think
US
that's
veteran.
I think that's a good idea that could be issued with the
But
ID card.
I agree with Jay, not everybody has,
On the veteran's card, is there any personal information? Because certainly you don't want to leave that out for anybody.
Just has your name on it.
just has your name
Okay.
and saying.
picture.
And your picture stating that you're a veteran. Matt, do you have any?
Yes, sir. I actually participate in the Veterans ID card that Eric has set up. And I do think that the discussion that you had concerning the veteran's license plate is a valid one. But also, a lot of veterans like myself that served in either the reserves or the National Guard, we're not considered veterans by, yeah, exactly, as far as the VA is concerned. Because unless you are deployed and have acquired 180 days consecutive active duty days, you're not considered a veteran by the VA or the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So because of that standing, we're not qualified to get the veteran license plate or the veteran marker on our license. So all I ask is that the commission keep that in mind when you're designating a spot for veterans, because not all of us are qualified, even though we are veterans.
How would you discriminate between the two?
I always thought whether you're in a reserve, as long as you served. I didn't.
That's a negative.
Negative.
Jay?
No,
Could we change the wording to say DMV issues veteran plates or veteran ID required?
I think that's reasonable.
I think the veteran ID
That sounds good,
required.
Jay.
That's a good suggestion, is the DMV license plate or veteran ID card required. Veteran ID,
And
no
it
put
ha-
card, just veteran ID
Yeah,
required.
and it should
So
be
you
in
get your
such a
card,
way
put it
that
on
somebody can see it.
Yeah, we're trying to make this a good thing. We don't want to make it a
Yeah, we don't want to
problem with every time somebody pulls in the space, there's an argument. So I like
Yeah.
that suggestion. Great suggestion, Jay.
And sir, to address the statement that you just made about if you're a National Guard or reservist, you are a veteran.
I always tell you, I could.
Well, the understanding of that changed in 1980. And in 1980, I guess it went through either Capitol Hill or somewhere where basic training time is no longer counted, and your reserve or National Guard time is no longer counted. And you have to acquire the 180 days consecutive either through deployment or on the extreme rare case that your MOS allowed you to have 180 days of training AIT time that was consecutive. And that's what,
Wasn't aware of that.
Also, the little codicil, 1 day of, in what time? Even one time.
That's it right here.
okay. So, thank you, gentlemen, for allowing me to speak again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Let's go on to new business.
Yes.
Under new business, Jay, you had homeless certification?
Yes, I had attended a meeting with Eric. It's that multi-agency task force for ending veterans homelessness. And at that meeting, they had announced that Lowell had met the necessary certification, and plans were, and they were making plans to have some kind of a ceremony recognizing that achievement. And I think when I flagged it, I thought I would impose on Eric to do all the heavy lifting, since he knows a lot more about it than I do. So if there's anything you wanted to add, Eric, or?
There's a veterans subcommittee meeting that meets the third Thursday of every month over at DPD. It's chaired by Linda King. She was brought on when the city had a 10-year plan to end homelessness. And there's multiple subcommittees, and I attend veterans subcommittee meetings for this purpose. And there's been a lot of work. She's worked tirelessly on this, and she's done a fantastic job. The idea is not to completely end the homelessness, which we know is probably not possible, but it's to identify every possible veteran, to know what their situation is, to know where they are, which programs they're being serviced through, who's next, who else can help. I mean, it's just a big collaboration from a lot of agencies. And they finally are being recognized by HUD as achieving this goal. And there was a meeting, Secretary Urena was there last month, and I think the goal is to have a big ceremony just announcing that the city of Lowell has reached that goal and joined. There's very few cities, communities in the state. So, I mean, it's a huge achievement.
Great. So we'll find out more information, and we'll find out when there's going to be their ceremony, or we'll get it.
We're meeting next Thursday, if anybody wants to come. It's at 10 a.m.
But from that meeting, we'll be informed of when this celebration will take place, and
I'm not sure if this meeting will be announcing it, but I think they're building up to that. They were discussing.
okay, so you're
how
going to
we-
keep
how-
us posted, I guess, is the
Correct.
question. Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to add one other issue related to that event. Francisco Urena told me that he was having a great deal of difficulty finding a parking space to get to the meeting, so he was very grateful that the combat veteran wounded parking space was in front of City Hall.
He did. He congratulated the city
Yeah.
for having that there. He was very
Yeah,
happy.
he is combat wounded, correct?
Yeah.
Yes,
He is.
so,
Yes, he is.
yes. Well, that's good.
Okay, and next would be, I don't know about this, the POW flag on Arcan Drive?
I went to the last meeting of the Merrimack Valley Veterans to brief them on some of our activities, and also to see if they had any issues that they wanted to bring before the Veterans Commission. And they told me that at one time, there was a POW flag under the American flag on that triangle, that Arcan Drive triangle, and they wanted to see if we could get it back.
Okay.
That is correct. I don't know exactly what happened to it. I've heard multiple things, and I think I can talk to Tom Bellegarde. I think something happened to the
Lanyard?
the lanyard.
Lanyard?
I think that's what happened. It was just never replaced, or people were taking down the flag.
Well, I'd like to just add on to this, is that if we could do an inspection, there are other flags that are showing some wear and tear, and I certainly don't think that we want that, us particularly becoming a veteran city, and recognizing our veterans to the extent that we have flags that are in disrepair. So if we could just kind of inspect that, because there's been other calls that we've gotten, and the DPW has been fantastic at addressing that. I think we just need to make them aware of it so they can be more so they can jump on it. I'm not saying they're not proactive and they don't notice, but there's a lot of flags.
Yeah.
Right.
I will CC the commission, and I will send out an email tomorrow.
Great, thank you. Mr. Flanagan.
The POW flag has become synonymous with the Vietnam War. But really, the POW issue goes back to previous wars as well.
Oh, absolutely.
But let us use the Vietnam War as an issue. One of the prominent POWs to come out of the Vietnam War was a gentleman by the name of Don McPhail. He came from Lowell. When North Vietnam released all the prisoners, he hobbled home. He was a prisoner for 50 months in North Vietnam.
Wow.
He came from Lowell, but his family moved to Chelmsford. Bill, you'd be interested to note, he's a graduate of UMass Lowell.
He was my next door neighbor growing up. Yeah.
Okay.
He received a master's degree.
Yeah, I do remember his name. It's from the war, yeah.
He died. He was a resident of Turner's Falls when he died. Arthur Hammer was a POW in a Stalag in Germany. He was a POW in the Second World War. I attended with Eric a street naming over in South Lowell, 2 streets. These gentlemen were POWs in Tokyo during the Second World War. Wow. I think Lowell has not honored the POWs that came from Lowell. And I think in conjunction with recognizing the POW flags, we should, somewhere in City Hall or the Lowell Memorial Auditorium, have a plaque recognizing the POWs that came out of Lowell. And
That's a
I'm
good
glad to
idea.
see that there's an item under new business recognizing the POW flags, and I think as part of that, we should push to have the city put some type of a memorial recognizing the POWs from Lowell that served the wars. Now, out of the Korean War, there was a big issue about the 21 POWs that stayed in Korea after the war, that never came back. And I'm sure there's many, many more POWs that came out of the wars that were never recognized. And I'd like to see that the POWs that came from Lowell get their due recognition.
It's a good idea, and we could do it. There's 2 new POW-MIA chairs, permanent chairs, one at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium and one here at Lowell City Hall. We could maybe have those plaques coordinated near them, so it would be even more significant, more of an impact.
Everybody would see them.
But let's talk about Mr. McPhail. Now, you say he was your neighbor. How old was he?
His parents were my neighbors, and obviously his son, and it was yeah, so I mean, how old was he?
Yeah, as your neighbor.
Oh, well, I mean, he was, when I was a little kid, he was, and it was, say, in his 30s or whatnot, but he came home, he was missing for a long time, and I know his parents kept all the welcome home signs and whatnot, but they didn't think he would, at one point in time, I was told they didn't think he was alive. And so when he was found, and he was not only held captive, but he was severely tortured
Right.
as well. And he went on to serve a career in law enforcement, and he was a heck of an individual.
Right.
So, yeah.
50 months,
I can't
Yeah.
imagine.
what he went through.
Yeah.
And I think the least the city of Lowell can do, even though he lived in Chelmsford and moved out to Turner Falls, I think there is some obligation that the city has to recognize what he gave to his country.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
And matter of fact, being from Lowell originally, and that's one of the things we talked about with our Walter F. Bayless Jr. Veteran of the Month Award, that we recognize people from Lowell that did make significant contribution, and I would not take anything away from you. I think that would be a great suggestion coming from you to as a potential Veteran of the Month. Although he has passed, we can certainly gather some family members to accept that on his behalf. I think
Thank
that great.
Bill,
motion.
there's a gentleman I used to work with at the post office named Charlie Spanos, and he was a POW in World War II, and I'm pretty sure he's from Lowell, but I'll check into that.
Yeah.
He just passed away about 3 months ago, 90-something. I'll find out about that too.
I think we're on the right track for sure.
And then, I don't know what this one is, Jay. Ramos, did you mean resignation?
No, I just meant, all I meant was whether we should do something that we have a resolution or a certificate or something to recognize the service or.
Thank you for serving on the Lowell Veterans Council,
something like
Commission,
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I don't know, we've had other members leave too, so
Yeah.
maybe that's an idea for,
Maybe we should think about that. I don't know.
okay.
And then, Jay, you Veteran of the Month?
That was, I flagged that without realizing that it was on a preceding agenda item, so
Okay.
other than seconding everybody else's remark about about its success, I don't have anything there.
If nobody has anything, I have Fred Healy. We'd like to talk about what we're going to do for the monument for Walter Bayless.
Great.
Where it's going to be, what are we going to do for funding Fred, or could you talk a little about that as to what?
At least updated ideas or,
You both can step up to the plate, so to speak.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. We have been meeting informally to discuss some of the logistics and possible fundraising and things of that issue. So that's been moving along fairly slowly, but we felt that the family should be involved. And there are some recommendations at this point, but nothing concrete, so.
I'd like to really get that moving forward
Yeah, we all
rather
would.
quick.
I agree.
I'd like to
100%.
see that move forward rather quickly than not be put on the back burner.
I've talked to the city Parks and Recreation Director, and they're fully on board. What would happen is, if we come, if it happens to be a city property, which it probably will be, that there's a process to go through with the Parks Board and all. So we're just about ready to go, and I think Fred could probably add
Yeah, I
something
mean,
to that.
it's a question of getting people together. We have a lot of great ideas, but it would be great to collectively get a certain group of people who are interested. You know, I think it'll come together rather quickly. I know there's people willing to write checks. We've talked about a few different places, but we really need an organized group and someone in leadership to take hold of it and just go with it, because there's plenty of people willing to do whatever they need to do via design work. I've already talked to a prominent landscape architect who's retired from Boston, a friend of mine in Westford. He would help with some of the design if we so desire. I talked to Jeff Hardy about some granite and bronze work through Tri-Guard. So there's a lot of people that we can, a lot of resources that we can pull upon. It's just getting the right group of people together and hitting the go button.
Yeah, maybe we'd have to have a separate meeting with
Have a
these,
subcommittee.
have like a subcommittee type thing to,
Any committee will do. I don't care the name of it. It's just, I'm anxious. I know Jim is. There's a lot of good quality people.
yeah, I
civic
mean,
people.
How big is your group that wants to be
Well,
actively?
there's just been 3 of us so far, Mary
Okay.
Burns, Jim Campbell, and myself.
Okay.
Which, I mean, you know, we're all ready to, you know, rock and roll.
yeah,
Okay.
we need to
We're
get
trying
this.
to coordinate with the family and
I think.
Yeah, you definitely need the family involved.
I think Ingrid, you know, being who she is, she's a kindred soul, that anything you kind of run by her, I'm sure she won't be overly
Right.
And I
Right.
think now that last
You know,
night is
critical.
out of the way, I mean, I think something like that for Ingrid was, you know, special when it was.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we want it to be, it's a place,
Yeah.
we also would have to find out where the family would want this.
Right.
And I would think it would have to be in the Highlands. That's my personal
We're trying our
opinion.
best to get that particular point and to see if there are any other issues involved.
Right.
Hopefully, if we do set a date for a meeting, that may move it along.
Yeah, and
Because I'd like to,
once you find a spot to do it, then everything, I think, will come into place.
Well, Fred, if you ever find out a date that you want to have a meeting, you can let me
Go
know.
home. It's just-
Right, we can meet at the home and,
Or the VFW
or the
whatever. I
VFW,
mean, the
wherever. It
VFW.
doesn't,
Does anyone on the commission want to spearhead a subcommittee to push this thing forward? Does anyone want to do that at this point? Well, we can put it out to the rest of the commission members aren't here either. And, because I think it's something that I don't think will be a lot of time. I think it can come together very, very quickly, organize everybody's thoughts, make some decisions, and move this thing forward as
do
quickly.
you want to say that we'll meet, say, within 30 days? Is that something?
yeah,
I'd say
Yeah, I
within
think,
Yeah, I-
Norman, do you want to,
a couple of
yeah,
weeks.
I think,
But if we meet within a couple of weeks,
right.
Norman, you want to organize that effort?
Yeah, no,
You gotta push
I
Who, I'm just thinking who we could have. I mean, we should have somebody from the Veterans
you
Committee.
should.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
to be honest with you, not to say that they would be a figurehead, but there's a lot of worker bees that are ready to roll.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there is. It's we gotta move on it. We don't want to have
I'll
this
tell you
done.
what, why don't you guys coordinate,
Yeah,
either at the VFW or at the funeral home, have 2 weeks, pick a date, go, and then we'll,
I'm gonna be gone all the next week, so next week is out. I will be out of town.
following week.
The following week, if you can get a hold of me, Fred, and pick a date that everybody is agreeable, I'll get in touch with John
Yeah, I'll-
and maybe a few other
You have
people in
some
here.
other people, I mean, you don't necessarily have to have somebody to lead the thing, even if they just want to be part of the committee.
And
Just to get it going.
Yeah.
maybe we could ask Tommy Belgard to be there, see what his,
I think that,
Tom
I think
Belgard.
that would be great.
I've already talked to Tom, he's
Oh.
on
He's on
board.
board.
All right,
Oh,
so
okay, that's-
involve him in the meeting as well.
involve Tom. Do you have, I have no way, I don't have Tom's number, but Eric, you must have it or somebody.
Are there any
Yeah, he's-
spots that might be considered closed, like Tyler Park or?
Well, that's what we were thinking about Tyler
Yeah.
Park.
Yeah, Tyler Park was one, and the other one I was thinking, and I don't know, is the corner of, what's that, Franklin Parkway? Is that what the name, what was Wally Street in it?
Lincoln Park.
Lincoln Parkway, Franklin
Might
Parkway.
not be big enough. We want
Nah, that's kind of small.
something colossal, but we're not gonna give them short shrift.
No,
And there's
no.
people ready to write checks too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Tyler Park.
Good. So
Wally
2
was-
weeks,
Wally was very active on the Tyler Park movement years ago and helped to raise money and to get it declared.
Yeah, he was also involved with the Lowell VA, with TV. I mean, Wally's done so much. I mean, we gotta do this right.
all right, so you guys will pick a date, 2 weeks, communicate, and get the word out to the rest of us who
I'll
want to
get
be
the word
involved.
out to John, and John, we can all get going and have a meeting at wherever you choose to have the
Having
meeting.
Mr. Belgard involved, I think is critical, so we can make decisions and make them quickly and get
No,
this
he
thing
said
going.
he's totally on board, whatever
Good.
the
On-
family and
Maybe one of the
committee wants.
councilors,
On something
maybe.
like that, is it up to
Yeah,
Tom?
And then
or-
he
have
would
to
take
see.
it to the Parks
Yeah.
Subcommittee, and then they would come back to the council with a full report, and
All right,
it could be done
that sounds
in
good.
a matter of a short period of time.
All right, so Fred or Jim, you'll let me know when this is set up, and I'll get in touch with everybody, and Well-
When are you back?
I'm back, hopefully I'm gonna be back I'm leaving Saturday morning, and I'm driving back, so I'm hoping to be back by Friday,
Okay.
next Friday, hopefully.
Following week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll figure a date that's convenient for everybody at night, It would, obviously would be around this time frame, and we'll get it moving.
Sounds good.
Great.
Thank
so
you.
much.
I should add that Wally really would have enjoyed last evening. It was something that was really special.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
glad.
the family did appreciate it tremendously.
Yeah, the family definitely has to be, one of the family members should be with us at somebody.
Well, we'll make decisions, and we'll give it to
Yeah.
them, and then they
I
can
don't think
approve
there'll
it,
be
yeah.
Yeah.
resistance or any critiquing, but I just think it's,
We just gotta get it done.
Important.
That's
Yeah,
plain
let's
and
get it
simple.
moving.
Let's
Yep.
just get it moving, get it done the right way, and we'll go from there.
All right, sounds good, guys, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We're just getting communications. with the guys.
Yeah,
Skip that.
Eric, because we're running out of time here, discuss brief overview of services provided in the Veteran Service Department.
There isn't enough time.
Yeah.
We can do that another time.
Let's, can we move that to the next meeting?
We're gonna have to, yes.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
perfect. Real quick, on communications, I want everybody to know in the public, real quick, that May 22nd, it's a Monday, there is at the Lowell VFW Post 662, 6 p.m., a Cambodian-American Veterans PTSD Awareness Night. And what we're trying to do is trying to get our fellow citizens, our Cambodian-Americans, in the community to the VFW. We presented that there's as there is in the veterans the broader veterans community, PTSD, but in the Cambodian-American culture, or the Cambodian culture, there's just not as much awareness as there should be. Kyle, would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so what we're going to do is VFW Post 662, 6 p.m., May 22nd, we're putting together a forum. We've got people like Mike Miles, who specializes in treating PTSD, and we've got resources from throughout the veteran community to come. We're going to have translators. So it's going to be, we've got microphones and speakers. We've got Ironstone Farm coming that has a PTSD program. We want to create awareness. We don't want any part of our veteran community not getting help because of either communication barriers or awareness or just plain flat out, it's not accepted. And we have a crisis in this country. We're losing 22 veterans a day to suicide, and it's an epidemic as far as I'm concerned. So this is part of creating the awareness. So I would like it if the community and certainly a commission, I would like to welcome you to come to this Monday, May 22nd, at the VFW at 6 o'clock. Eric?
Just really quick, I got something in the email today. The Red Sox Foundation is inviting all Vietnam veterans on the field on Saturday, July 15th. And they're also offering free tickets for 14th, 15th, and 16th, one of those games. There's a pre-game ceremony on the 15th. I have the flyer here if everybody's interested in looking at it. I think it's a good opportunity for any Vietnam veteran. You already signed up?
Any other communications?
Make a motion to adjourn, I guess.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Second?
Okay.
Well, good night, folks.
Have a good.